I was motivated to look at this sort of program because I love traveling, and it was a chance to have a new experience in another country and also have it relate to my job of teaching. So it was kind of all the traveling plus, you know, my love for music and education. The most memorable moment at the school was the time I spent in music classrooms observing the music, and the cliche that music is a universal language was so true. I might not have understood what they were saying, but just experiencing the music and how they were teaching it was really something I'll remember. And I did traveling on my own before I started the school visit, and I visited to Munich and other places in southern Germany, and that was a great experience to go out on my own and see the country. I found that when I came back, the things that affected or impacted me was that we came back just before school started. So I came back very motivated, enthusiastic, kind of regenerated because of the experience over in Germany. You came back and you're back in your classroom, and what can I do that's different and new here, because you came back experiencing new things. So that's what I found, that in my classroom I was very excited to come back and be with my students, and even there were some things that I had seen that I was, wanted to try them out, and I was excited to be back. You're going to a different country, you don't speak the same language, and you're going to live with a family that you've never met. So there was those kind of nervousness and anxiety about going over and not sure what to expect. Definitely not speaking the language was a challenge. Everyone spoke English when you needed help, but it was challenging to try to ask those questions and not miss anything in terms of the language being a barrier, like just trying to get through that barrier and not make it a barrier. So that was a challenge. You definitely have to be open-minded and ready to try everything and anything. It's very important to be in contact with your exchange partner and make sure that you have good communication, and your expectations and your questions for each other have been answered the best you can. Like, there'll be lots that you learn when you get there. So I think you need to go over open-minded and willing to experience everything. And some of the experiences you get, you might not realize what you're going to gain from it. It might not be what you expect, but you learn a lot of new things. And the communication with your exchange, like, inform yourself as much as you can so you go over prepared, about the country, and communication with your partner, who you're going to be living with, and being in their classroom. So
I love traveling. I did a previous, my first year teaching, I taught in London, England, and that kind of got the travel bug in me, and so it's a great opportunity to travel and see new places. I think it's going to enrich both of us. I think it's going to provide us with new perspectives on teaching, and perhaps, change our outlook on how I teach, and bring new insight into my professional career. And my goal is to travel and see as much of Australia as I can, and outside of Australia, Bali, Fiji. Professionally, I think it's going to be just everything is going to be a new experience. Teaching grade 1 for the first time, teaching just in a new country, learning the curriculum. So my goal, I guess, is just to to survive and to get through each day is going to be a new experience. So I think that in itself is a huge goal. Obviously, I'm also excited about just seeing what education and teaching looks like elsewhere.
I've heard about the exchange through a number of people who have been on the exchange, but I think the primary motivation is that I've never lived anywhere except in Alberta, and just the opportunity to see a new culture, a different country, do some traveling. I guess it's a sense of adventure. what I think is going to happen is not going to happen, and I think the impact is going to be something that will maybe broaden my horizons a bit, give me a better understanding of other cultures, maybe open up my teaching practice to different methods and approaches. And personally, I think it'll give our family a good opportunity to, one, bond, because we're going to be in a small town without our support system, so kind of gives you an opportunity to get a little closer to your family. I think it'll also, for my children, who are both 3 and 5, I think it's a positive for their upbringing. It gives them an opportunity to see something new. I think it'll be a challenge taking on a new curriculum, teaching a lot more science than I would typically teach. I currently teach Science 7, some drama, and some music. And so it'll be a different approach. That said, I will have a bit more time to commit to it, not having all the things that happen in Canada with my regular life to worry about. I think I'll have a bit more time to focus on my professional career, so I think it'll be a positive on that side. But I do expect to see some challenges. Personally, mostly with our children and our relationship, I guess. I think an exchange, or any time that you go on a major adventure, you are tested. And I guess the biggest challenge I see is for my children adjusting to the culture, to so much change. Myself and my wife have traveled a lot in our lives, so I think the culture shock to that won't be as devastating, I guess, to ourselves and our relationship, but it might be a little tough on our children. They're excited. I'm kind of excited to explore the world with my family.